Hello.
Hi,
Hi, Light. Welcome in.
How's it
How
going?
are you? Good to see you.
Very good.
My good friend from Twitch and elsewhere.
The one and only, the one and only.
So, for those who haven't met you before, who are you? And how did you discover Dragon Age?
Oh, okay, cool. So I'm Light2099 from Twitch, Deary's mod, also a streamer as well, Irish streamer. I discovered Dragon Age through a game store. I just went in one day. I think it was maybe like, when did Dragon Age Inquisition came out? 14? So I must have been maybe 14, 15 years old. And I had two games in my hands. It was Dragon Age Inquisition. I can't remember the competitor. Maybe it was like a COD or something. I don't know. But I could only get one.
Yeah.
And I stand there for like half an hour looking at the blurbs going, and I went with Inquisition and I never looked back. That's the best day ever. That's how I got introduced. Same as you start with Inquisition, I started with Inquisition.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. When did you first play Origins then?
Oh, I would say it had been a couple years after, because I don't think I had the console for, because I played it in PS4 and Origins wasn't on PS4, so I had to get PS3. I think that was years after, so maybe 2016, 2017.
How did you find it when you first played it? Was it hard or was it like...
Origins. You see, I think I looked up a lot about Origins, so it wasn't that hard for me. I did kind of spoil myself in a lot of Origins, I think, before I first played it, so it wasn't that difficult. That was my first actually like, CRPG. I've only did like Fallout New Vegas, stuff like that, more like FPS RPGs. That was like my first full-on RPG like that, and it was difficult, but I just loved it so much I put way too many hours into it.
Me too. So, who have you brought with you today?
I brought my Dwarf Commoner, my favorite origin. Back in the day, I would never say Dwarf Commoner is my favorite origin, but then I actually did it, and I love it, and it's Astri.
Astri.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah, sorry, in Kal'Hirol Rock.
Oh.
I didn't really have an idea about how I wanted to create it. I was actually going to go with a male first, because I'm addicted to the Morgan romance. I just keep having to do Morgan romance. I don't know why. But I was like, no, I don't want to do Morgan romance again. So I was like, I'm going to do a female this time. And I knew the Dwarf Commoner origin, it's kind of like V from Cyberpunk, where they're both in a horrible place and they're just trying to survive day by day. And I kind of got a bit of inspiration from there. What else was I going to say? Oh God, my mind's going blank now. I had no idea really. I didn't have a template or anything. I kind of just created her. Was going to go male first, went female, and then just went from there. And I just delved into the character really.
For those who never finished a Dwarf Commoner origin.
Oh, who would that be? Who would that be?
What happens to her? How do we meet her?
Oh, well, we start off with her in her house in the Dust Town with her sister, Rika, and the Karta boss, Barat, who is the one before Jarvia. You probably met her in your origin.
Yeah.
Or
I
met
Jarvia. I fucking met Jarvia.
Yeah, your sister is a noble hunter. So she goes out, she finds a noble, she has a kid. I think if it's a boy, it takes the noble's caste. And if it's a girl, it takes her caste, I think. I think that's how it works. Well, you're both working for the Karta. He has used an enforcer, just basically go around beating people up, killing people, collecting debts. She tries to have a baby with someone. Plot twist, it's Balin, by the way.
Oh no.
Spoiler.
No.
Yeah. He sends you in your first job with Lesky, after you leave the house, of course. And Lesky is voiced by Varric, by the way. It's his first role.
Oh.
And you basically just get a debt from one guy. You could kill him if you want to, you can keep him alive. That one's not too important, but you come back to him and then he gives you a job. You have to go into the proving grounds and poison, well, kind of like poison / weaken one of the other fighters because he has money on one to win. So he wants the other one to lose.
Oh.
So you're meant to sneak in and poison him to make him weaker so your guy wins. But you get there and his guy's drunk and he can't fight. So then you have the idea to put the armor on and fight for him, which is very dangerous because you can't fight. As a Dwarf Commoner, you don't have the rights. You have 0 rights. You put the armor on and you go on and you fight basically the whole warrior cast. And it's the only origin where actually Duncan sees you fight.
Wow.
It is the only origin where Duncan sees you fight. And then eventually, he stumbles out, which is very funny because why is Lesky not watching the drunk guy who's sleeping? The drunk guy who's meant to be fine walks into the arena and everyone's like, wait, that's him. Who's fighting right now? And then they demand you take off your helmet, which is funny because I had the no helmet mod.
I am no man.
It's even funnier because I had the no helmet mod on. So you have the helmet on, and I had no helmet. So my character goes, with no helmet.
So during being given the quest to poison this person and take this huge risk and fight in place of somebody else, what's going through her head?
Oh, actually, that was a good thing. I actually was thinking about a lot, actually. I think she just wants to kind of prove herself, because like the whole origin, and especially the return to Ozamar, everyone puts you down. You are scum. And even your mother, she literally says a quote, I think I have it here. You can't get Dust Town off. You will never be good enough for them. You don't bleed red enough for them. I'm like, damn.
Wow.
So I think that's her. Like, whenever she went out there, she was like, we commoners can fight as well. We should be on the front lines. That's also a big thing with the Dwarf Commoner, because they're talking about the dwarf population's going down, because only the nobles are fighting. The Dwarf Commoners aren't fighting. She's like, I can show them. We can do it as well.
So she has this kind of inner belief that things can be different.
Yeah.
And she wants to fight for that.
Yeah.
This is probably something that's like come from her and not from her family. Like if her mother is like raising her with that kind of mentality, then whatever drive that Astri has is coming from just this feeling that she has, right? Or something like that.
It is definitely a feeling. It is also a little bit from the family, but it was also just like her society, her growing up. As I said, basically most Dwarf Commoners are just living day by day, trying to survive. She wants to get her family out in another way. She doesn't want her sister giving their body to a noble. Like, they want a better way to do it for other people as well, not just themselves.
Yeah. Upon meeting Duncan and being given the opportunity to join the Grey Wardens, what is she thinking at that point?
Oh, wow. It's kind of funny, because the first time you meet Duncan, it's like right out before that battle I was telling you about. You're like so scared to talk to him, because you're like, I don't want to get in trouble by talking to this noble person. Some of them, my characters went up and was just like, hi, can I talk to you? And Duncan's like, wow. Duncan's really respectful.
You're so tall.
Yeah, and Duncan's actually really respectful to the dwarf wardens, even the noble. He really likes them. I think it's because of the dwarf in the book. I think my
Uther.
Uther, yeah.
Oh.
It's kind of funny, like right after the fight.
Is she a rogue or a warrior?
Oh,
sorry,
she's a warrior. Yeah, she's a warrior. I was gonna say,
Duncan sees a little reflection of Uther in.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love the little moment after the warrior cast fight and then you get revealed. Everyone's freaking out. They're like, what the fuck? We can't have this. Everyone's freaking out. And Duncan just goes like this. Just stands up and he just goes, I just love it. It's so funny because it's the only fight. It's the only warden he ever sees fighting. So he's like, ooh.
Yeah.
He's like, I've got my one. Okay, what was the original question again? She's thinking about becoming a Grey Warden?
Yeah.
I think she feels a bit sad because at the end after that battle, the mafia boss does a little bribes because you get taken by the guards, but then he kidnaps you and Lesky, and then you break out, kill him, and then the guards come at the end, and Duncan comes and recruits you, but he can only take you. So your family is still there, Lesky's still there, so you basically leave everyone behind. So she is sad about that, but she is happy to move up in the world, but she is sad to leave the family behind that she loved.
Maybe she can like do good from the outside for a while and try and make change happen
100%.
from outside.
Because I feel like the Dwarf Commoner, maybe the Dalish elves more out of the water, but I feel like the Dwarf Commoner just is so out of the water. They have no education systems. They don't hear anything about the outside world down in Ozamar, so they're so fish out of water. I like that because like I could delve more into my character more and expand her more. Because like if you're playing a Dwarf Noble and you say like, what's a Templar? Your Dwarf Noble should know what a Templar is. As a Dwarf Cassis, you'd be like, what's a Templar? I've never been on the surface.
Templar? What is this mage you speak of?
Imagine what the crap. I just got a shield and a sword and I go,
I love dwarf wardens because it's so fun to think about these dwarves having dreams for the first time and seeing the sky for the first time. One warden might be like, wow, this is amazing, and then another one might be like, really sick at seeing the sky.
I think that's also a lot of people date Zevran as a Dwarf Commoner because one's a criminal, one's an assassin. They kind of have a more similar vibe. But I didn't want to date Zevran with Astri. I dated Liliana because I think Liliana kind of brings out her more softer romantic side where she can tell her about all these stories about the stuff she misses.
Because she's so well traveled.
She's so well traveled compared to Astri, and she can tell her all these stories, bring that romanticized hero into her life a little bit more. I really like that more than Zevran. No, Zevran would have been the second choice, but I preferred Liliana with her.
Yay. How did she respond to each companion? How did she think of Alistair and Morrigan when she first saw them?
she generally put up a pretty strong front with him. Like, she was friendly, but she was pretty tough with him, but on a nicer, like, kind of leader vibe. Like, when she found out he was a king, by that point, she just seen him as a brawler, as a Grey Warden brawler. Like, she didn't care. Then she actually got along with Stan a lot. Like, she kind of had a very rough background, rough raising. She can understand how sometimes I can raise you weird. So she's like, you're okay, Stan. I vibe with you. She got along with Morgan very well, because if you bring Morgan to Astri's mom, Rika? No, that's the sister. I can't remember the mom's name, Kata or something like that. Like, Morgan's like, oh my god, your mom sucks as much as mine. So I think they can relate in that, where they're like, crappy family.
Hey.
Liliana, of course, she romanced her, loved her loads. She loves Everin. I did keep Logain alive in my playthrough. I love Logain. I can't kill Logain, man.
Wow. How about Shale?
Oh yes, Shale. I love the Shale quest line with my dwarf. I love the Deep Roads part with Shale, Karadin, and Bronca, because like they're meant to be the pinnacle of dwarf society. And when she meets Bronca, who is kind of similar to Astri in a way, but she's just crazy. She just feels so sad for Bronca, but also sickened by what Bronca did. And then whenever she meets Karadin, it's so funny because you go through the whole of Ostagar and no one's nice to you. Funny enough, Balin's actually nice to you, but you're kind of his brother / sister-in-law, so kind of has to be. When she meets Karadin's like the only dwarf who's ever nice to her. I can't remember the quote. I have it looking up right now. He says a really nice quote where he's like, always find your way in the darkness before he jumps off the cliff. I'm like, oh.
That must be so jarring for a dwarf commoner like her to see these two pinnacles of society, just two fucked up individuals.
Yeah.
Who made mistakes and were just people
suffering from it. Kind of like the castless as well.
Yeah. Who did she elect as king?
Oh, of Orzammar or Orzammar. Oh, Balin. It's weird because when you get back to Orzammar, Rika, your sister, she's dating Balin. She is drinking the Kool-Aid. She thinks Balin is the nicest little bean who would never do that. Like, everyone's like, oh my god, Balin killed his brawlers. And Rika's like, he would never do that. He's such a nice little bean. Ashley's like, oh my god, if I go with Haramon, they're going to go back to Castle, so I kind of have to go Balin.
I see. That's like a really good case for Balin, because I hate him so much. But like, but because of how traditional Haramon is, you could see like Ashley like, no, we gotta change. This is like my chance to change this. This is my chance to do what I was meant to do.
I think Balin actually kind of likes the Dwarf Commoner because this is the first person he's met who's competent, but also isn't a political enemy. You have no political power here. So you can kind of let his guard down a little bit more around you. And he actually is kind of nice to you. He's still a dick and he still tries to manipulate you, but he is a bit nicer to the Dwarf Commoner and any other origin. I think it's also because like he's dating your sister, your kind of family. So he's also trying to manipulate that a little bit. But I feel like he actually does kind of like the Dwarf Commoner a little bit.
Cool. I want to go into a little bit of Astri's personality.
Yes.
Who is she inside?
Oh, inside. As I said, I did take a bit of inspiration from V. So she is very headstrong, determined, just powers through anything. She makes friends easily though. Like, she generally will resolve problems diplomatically. Like that guy I told you about, the first person, I let him go and just talk Brat down. I was like, hey, because like, I think Brat actually like catches out a little bit where he's like, are you sure you killed him? Because I saw him leave the pub. And you're like, oh yeah, I had to get him somewhere secret and then I killed him. And he's like, oh, okay. Talk first, but if I don't like you, you're getting my shield in your teeth.
No. How did she react to outside world things? How did she react to the Chantry? How did she react to the Dalish?
She was definitely very inquisitive, and she definitely was very interested in stuff. Like, she definitely wanted to learn and understand this. Like, she definitely took her Grey Warden job very seriously, and she knew she needed to learn about this stuff because Grey Warden is to protect the whole world. It's not just Orzammar anymore. Like, she wanted to learn, get down to the brass knuckles, basically. She just had a beautiful personality. I definitely infused a bit of my own personality in there as well. I definitely see a lot of myself in Astri.
In what ways?
Just being brash, being headstrong for situations. I think that's where my personality comes from. Oh,
you do seem to adore her the most of all the characters I've seen you play.
As I said, I didn't think I would like Dwarf Commoner, but it's like, this is the only origin I haven't really fully felt. I think I did do a Dwarf Commoner before. I just related to it. I don't know if that's like from my own like backstory of being Irish, having the oppression, and just relating to that. Also, I don't want to go into my own backstory, but I didn't have a great family upbringing. So seeing Astri's own family, like her father left very young. I think they had her, and then the dad wanted to go to the surface. The mother stayed, and then that has broke the family up. She became heavily alcoholic, very abusive. It was just a really touching story I loved about the family. And also throughout the story, the mother is horrible, and she's really horrible to Astri. But when she sees Astri beat the archdemon, she actually tries to beat her alcoholism. We don't actually get to hear much about the mother by the end, sorry, because you only talk to Rika at the end. But I like the thing that she does it for her.
Oh, I had a question and I forgot what it was.
Oh, don't worry, I'm forgetting all the things.
No.
When it came to things like fighting in Ostagar for the first time and being a part of like an army and seeing what Loghain does, waking up and realizing that she is now a Grey Warden and has this incredible responsibility to the world. Is she panicked? Is she scared? Is she in her element?
A little bit of panic, but also in her element. I think she just loves Ostagar because it's what she would want for Orgrimmar, where everyone's working together. Even though like the elves, most of the elves there are servants, even they are helping towards the battle in Ostagar. There's men, women, all different creeds, just all there hoping to beat back the Darkspawn. I think she really likes the idea. She's like, yeah, I'm down for this. I want to fight with these people.
And then waking up to find that it was all gone. And
yeah, that would be
them.
devastating. Like to see her order that she really likes just go away like that, and being the last one with Alistair would be crazy. This is a good game.
It's a good game. What's the most significant thing that she experiences in like the main quest?
Oh god, because there's so much that happens in Dragon Age Origins. Definitely the Landsmeet, because she kept Loghain alive. I think she was, in her opinion, the more level-headed one, where she's like, he's a master strategist, probably the best strategist in the series. We need more wardens. We're gonna keep him alive. And Alistair was hot-headed at the time.
Was he softened?
No, he's hardened. You can only keep Loghain alive. I made him king, and you can only do it when he's hardened. I kind of like making Alistair hardened. He stands up for himself more. I think also Astri would want that for him as well.
Yeah, maybe being around her as well, that would influence watching how she like stands up for things and seeing her be headstrong. Maybe that influences Alistair a little bit as well.
Oh, definitely. She lost like one of her best friends. That's not Liliana, of course. Meeting Shale was also pretty impactful. I think whenever she found out Shale was a dwarf, that was a dwarf that was also in the party that wasn't Ogren.
I completely forgot about Ogren.
Remember I went through other bands there and I completely forgot about it. I feel like a lot of moments happened in Awakening for Astri between Ogren, Kal'Hirol. It was really nice.
My brain is connecting the threads, and I realized that you now had Morrigan have the baby with Loghain.
Yeah, it was weird. That's my first time doing that. You see, I wouldn't have mind killing Astri. I actually was tempted to do that.
Yeah.
But I wanted those moments in Awakening, so I was like, I can't kill her. And I want Loghain around, so I was like, I have to do
the story wasn't done.
Yeah, I was like, I need to get to Awakening because that's a cool moment. I need her.
So is there like a reason for her that she decides to take that route upon hearing that, oh, I'm gonna die. Oh wait, I don't have to die. Oh god.
I don't think it's more her. I just think she trusted Morgan.
Oh.
She really liked Morgan. They got along together. Morgan even calls her sister at the end, which I really liked. And I think
that must have been so nice to hear as Astri, who is probably missing her sister.
Very much, yeah. And to like have that option just taken off the table where it's like, okay, maybe one of us don't have to die. Like there's no guarantee any of us will even get the kill, but something that'll help. Maybe we'll take the alleviation off a little bit. So I think that was a little bit of it as well.
How did she deal with the Connor?
Oh, do you see, generally I have the mages done first. I always do mages. Gotta get Win. Oh yeah, Win. I forgot about Win. Win was a very nice mother figure to Astri. She really liked. I think she's the mother to the whole camp, so I really liked it. I kept Connor alive. Normally I do the mage tower first. So I had them on the back pocket ready to go.
How did Astri feel about the Fade?
Oh yeah, going to the Fade. Sadly, Dwarf Commoners don't have too much of a big reaction. Like they're like, oh my god, or the dwarf no interactions. Ogren has more of that stuff. Sadly, Dreaming was crazy for her because like she does mention that to Liliana. I think after they have their first romance scene together in the camp, like she says like I dreamed. I think Liliana's like I dreamed of you, and Astri was just like, I just have light dreams. I just dream of a fucking dragon. She's like, that's nice. But no, I don't think there's anything too crazy.
Can I ask, because I haven't seen the Dwarf Commoner origin, what the Guardian asks her in the Temple of Sacred Ashes?
Oh god,
going through those parts.
That one was really good. I don't think it's my favorite Guardian part of all the origins, but when you go back to Orzammar and you be asked to take out the Carta again, it's Jarvia, of course, again. You actually meet Jarvia in the origin. She is dating Barat, and then she takes over for Barat after. Because Leski's like, don't ask about them dating, and I asked her about dating. You're like, oh, you two banging? And Leski's like, okay, we're going. When you go back to Orzammar, since Leski cannot leave Dust Town, he was given an option: either join the Carta again underneath Jarvia or die. And I guess he feels a bit slighted by you leaving him, so when you go back and you fight Jarvia, Leski's there. And you have to kill Leski.
Oh no.
Yeah, you have to kill your friend you grew up with. And when you go into the temple, it's Leski.
Oh no.
The spirit is Leski. And I felt like that was so good to do that first go and have the fight with Leski, and then go to the temple and then have like the spear kind of forgive him. Or forgive her, sorry.
Yeah. Wow.
Gotta get a bit closure there. I wish there was an option to maybe redeem Leski or maybe give him to your side, but there's none. He just always fights you.
Maybe she can put up a plaque in his honor or statue or something.
Aspect style is, I would say, like, what's shaping underneath.
What's shaping?
You know what he says? That's the first thing he says is, what's shaping?
There was a reference to that in Veilguard. Did you catch that?
Yeah, there was. and then like, your rook goes, no one says that. And literally no one else says it but him.
Is there something unique about the way she sees the world?
I think, yeah, definitely. Coming from like a very crappy society, she related to the elves a lot. So when she got to the alienage, she definitely related with the alienage. Big cities that were not divided by caste much, besides the alienage, were pretty cool to her. She quite liked that, like going around the shops, enjoying it. Because like as a casteless, you can't shop. You can't go into a shop and buy something. Like no one's gonna buy or sell stuff to you. So actually going into a shop and being treated as a customer would be really crazy.
Yeah, like, hello, can I get something for you? And she's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Also relating to the mages as well. She related to the mages.
Was she interested in magic?
A little bit. She was scared by it. Like, I think most dwarves are probably pretty scared of magic in some degree because they don't get much exposure to it. But she didn't mind it. She saw the usefulness in it, the healing. She got along with the Templars as well, but she mainly was interested in the mages.
Is there anything that she finds interesting about the world that she might go and investigate herself, like any kind of like history or particular place that she doesn't get to go to, anywhere that she wants to explore?
Oh god, I know where I want her to go if like she ever got like the cure for the warden, but what else where she want to go? Well, Kal'Hirol was like a really big moment for her with the Dwarf Casa, so maybe she wanted to explore some other tags if they ever like reclaimed them. Check those out maybe. She's never been in Orlais. I think she'd find Orlais interesting because like Liliana's always been telling her about Orlais. So actually getting to experience it would be kind of cool. Maybe whenever like she's going to Weishaupt when she gets the medal, maybe she passed through there.
Can you tell me what happens in Awakening as a Dwarf Commoner?
Oh yes. The biggest part of Awakening that I love the most is freaking Sigrun.
Sigrun?
I know you're also a huge Sigrun lover. I think when you get to, if you do a Dwarf Commoner playthrough, and I really recommend it, you will love Sigrun even more because when you meet her, she fangirls over you so hard. Because when you end Origin, the dwarf like assembly makes you warrior caste, and then you become a paragon. So like when she meets you, she's fangirling so hard. She even tells you like, "Can you sign my helmet?" Like that's how big of a fangirl she was. I've never actually seen a Dragon Age character go, I want to sign, I want something, a signature from this person. And I do have a little bit of an origin with Sigrun. It's a tiny story. I've only created Astri recently. Do you know how Sigrun's story is? She stole something and she got in trouble. Basically, she stole it because Barat ordered her to steal it, the dwarf boss. Astri and Sigrun both worked for the same mafia boss, basically. I headcanoned that Astri was also on that mission.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Like, her and Leski were like lookouts maybe for the mission she was stealing. Leski's a sucky rogue. I was gonna say it right now, probably. So maybe he tripped an alarm or something and the mission went kaput. She still got the thing, but people know now the Carta has to go into hiding and Barat's angry. And it's clearly was Leski and Astri's fault. They tripped the alarm. but Sigrun takes the fall.
Oh,
she says it was
wow.
me, and then she has to run. She finds a Legion of Dead recruiter. She joins the Legion of the Dead. And then later on in life, you know how at the end of Sigrun's story, she's like not suicidal, but she wants to do her walk. She wants to do calling. And then Astri keeps her from doing the walk, and then she saves Sigrun later in life. So they save each other at different points in their life.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's so good because they kind of like have like this moment of connection way in the in the beginning, and then in Awakening she recruits her to the Wardens as well, so she gives her another chance. Yeah,
it gives her another chance in life that she gave her. Yeah, like return the favor.
Oh, that's so good. Are they aware that that happened, or do they
know? If I was writing that story, I would have them be two separate teams. So like she would be like the shadow team doing the sneaking, and they never met. But they know there were two teams, but they never actually got a chance to meet.
So they just kind of do it accidentally. They kind of Oh my god, that's so nice.
I think you also talked about it. You also had a headcanon that your warden sobered up Oghren. I think my Astri would do that as well, especially since she had a history with an alcoholic mother. She would try and help Oghren get over that type of stuff as well. Yeah, and like Warrior Cast, they have that connection as well. And his little nugget is named after her, probably. Oh, yeah. She generally liked Oghren when he was alone, but when he was within her companions and being disgusting, she stepped down on that pretty hard. Yeah. Oghren is fucking weird. Yeah, I really like their, like, the whole, like, you've restored my honor as a warrior. I like that aspect. When he's talking to companions, he's just creepy. Is there anyone else in the Awakening gang that she enjoyed particularly? Who would be number 2? Probably Nathaniel Howe. I think she kind of just liked Nathaniel Howe's humor. Astri's all of us. She kind of likes a guy who could take it on the chin and laugh it off. Yeah, and he's also like that noble background, but he has that respect for you. Yeah, she kind of reminds me of Alistair as well. A little bit. Did Loghain show up in Awakening, or did Alistair show up in Awakening? Alistair showed up as the king. Okay. I think, yeah, he shows up as king, but Loghain does show up later on. He just kind of pops up and just like, hi. He gives you 10 gold, it's like, I'm away now. So after she's done Awakening and she's been through protecting Amaranthine and Witch Hunt probably as well. Yes. And Golems, maybe. Oh, Golems. Freaking Golems. I tried to do that in Nightmare. I couldn't do it. Why does it sucks? It sucks. It sucks. Why is that thing so tanky? I hate it. It's actually not Astri's fault. It's the team's fault. It's the companion's fault. They suck. Yeah. Why do they do this? Bronto, why are you not stronger? Bronto. After the events of the game has passed and like time has passed, and does she stay with the Wardens, or does she go on like adventures with Liliana? Oh no. Does fate separate them? You always get a letter, well, not from Morgan, of course, but you get letters from the other romances when you go to Awakening. And I remember in the letter, Liliana was talking about like, oh, we should make Vigil Keep look prettier, or like roses and flowers around. And I just had like a picture in my head of like Astri going to Amaranthine and going to Nathaniel's sister, because I think she runs up a K shop, doesn't she? I think she's a tailor. Oh, maybe a tailor. I thought she was a florist, but in my head, kind of, she's gonna be a florist now. And then she just buys a bunch of flowers, like roses, petals, and stuff, just puts them all over Vigil's Keep. But she mainly stayed with the Wardens. If she did a calling, she would like to live in Couch Rock, or I mean, the Cure. Yeah. That's kind of like her retirement home, in my opinion. So as this little lady who has affected so much and has been through so much and has gone through so much change, upon like hearing about only having like 30 years to live and learning about the calling, how does she feel about that? I think she was okay with that, because like, as I said, she basically lived a life where she doesn't know she'll make it to tomorrow. She gets stabbed, mugged, extorted. So I think she was okay with the 30-year thing, where she's like, I already have basically a death sentence over my head. I basically defeated the Carta twice, beat the Archdemon. I think she was okay with it. She's lived up to her potential in her head, I think, and she's happy with that. Oh, how do you headcanon that she decides to search for a cure? I don't know about that part. I never actually thought about that part much. Because I think she likes it, Amaranthine. She likes the people there. Liliana's not too far away. I think that was more probably that job was forced upon her by the first warden, maybe. Maybe the first warden was just like, she's like, oh, I don't want to do. It's kind of when you have a job and you're like, I don't want to do that. I want to take out the bins. So I think it was more like that, where she's like, do I have to? Okay. It's a nice idea, but I want to stay at home.
Yeah, it takes her so far away as well.
Yeah, I would like a game about that where, like, even if it was like a small scale one, like an area, just like your dwarf comes or your Grey Warden comes back, does that. I like that.
So if you were going to write a scene or a codex in a future game that kind of references her, Dragon Age 2, Inquisition, Veilguard, or Dragon Age 5, if she was going to come back or be mentioned, how would you do it?
I think I would want to write it from Balin's and Rika's perspective, because I think they would have grown closer as a family. You'd want to see like how Rika is getting along, and Balin maybe trying to look for the Grey Warden, sending out patrols maybe into the deep roads. Maybe she's down there or something. I feel like maybe Ashley might have told them that she was leaving before she left. I don't know. But yeah, because like, they would be missing her, like Endrin, because she names the kid Endrin after the king, Balin's dad. So like I feel like she'd be missing her auntie. So I would love to see a scene with them and a codex about them being like, where is she right now? What's she doing?
Because Leliana will give you a war table mission to contact her in Inquisition, so maybe she goes through Orzammar to do that, or and then the Wardens.
I always had a headcanon that if they never got the cure, if Astri was going for a calling, because I think Astri became a Warden a year before her, Sigrun would sneak in and go with the calling with her. So I feel like they would always like tag team. So I feel like Sigrun might have went with her. Like the Wardens don't know that she also went on the calling mission to find a cure. But she's there. She's like, I'm teaming up with you. And then the family's just back mining
three different moments for them where they are on each other's side.
And Nathaniel's just running Vigil's Keep again. He's like, oh.
When you kind of finished playing Origins and you'd finished her journey, how did you feel about her narrative and her story? And does she continue to grow in your head?
I feel like she definitely had a really good arc going from the Dwarf Commoner Fug to being the Paragon of the Castless and the Grey Warden who saved for Eldon, basically. I loved my narrative of her. Honestly, it feels weird, but when I play a dwarf in Inquisition, I feel like I'm cheating. I literally feel like I'm cheating because it's another Carta. I did a dwarf Carta, and I'm just like, I've already done the best I can.
She's like peak.
I love her. She's amazing. I love my Mahario as well. I related a lot with my Mahario. But Astri, I think, fitted me more as a person.
Is
That's
she like...
small.
Small dwarf. Is she your canon? That you consider the canon? The best girl?
Maybe sometimes I might throw Mahario back in there as my canon if I thought maybe, oh, this could be an interesting playthrough if I ever went through like Inquisition 2 Veilguard again. But she's number one now, yeah. She's my beam.
Has she changed anything about the way you play RPGs now or the way you write headcanons and stuff?
Mahario was my first one for sure, so I had to kind of give him more credit for that. But also, you, of course, dear, you changed a lot about how I change headcanons and stuff. She was like my first Warden after, because like you definitely introduced me to OCs a lot more. I did OC a lot before, but like you broadened that scope a lot more. So like she was like my first one after my enlightenment.
You had the tools.
Yes. I was much more versed in it, and it definitely changed me a lot. I play a lot more dwarves now. I fucking love them. I feel like I run a lot of like races in RPGs are just so unrepresented. Like in my recent playthrough, I'm doing Githyanki. I think in my next one, I'm doing a half orc. Like you never see Githyanki half orcs in Baldur's Gate 3 or in other games. Like you never see certain races. Like I think dwarves are like 5% of the player base. So like I really like showing them off, being like, hey, look at this. This is so cool. I also just love the dwarf lore as well. So I
definitely have like more of an affinity to it now after Veilguard, because it feels like that just kind of tightened up a few things that I'm like, yes.
Oh, if Astri showed up in Veilguard, that'd be so fucking cool.
Where would she be?
Oh god, where? If I was writing Veilguard, like where would I want to insert her in the story? Whitesap's probably like the basic pick, probably.
Yeah, because she'd be old-ish. Yeah. She'd be later half of Calling.
Okay. There's a Doctor Strange far from Marvel Rivals. He opens it and he falls. She falls on top of Solus and squishes him. Probably Whitesap, but I might be able to come back later on, say it in another place, maybe where I'm like, oh, that can be a cool place.
And Sigrun
I would like to actually seen her go to what's the other one?
Kal'Hirol.
Kal'Hirol. See, there's Kal'Hirol, and then there's Kal'Hirol. I would really like to see that civilization, see how different it is from Orzammar, being like, wow, this is a weird place. Because even, well, Hardy's on Orzammar dwarf, but even she's like, this isn't normal.
I like the idea of Astri joining the Veil Guard for like 3 missions or something before she has to go again and gets to see like the Titan heart and stuff like that after Vice helped. Maybe she, like, after Vice helped, she can be with Rook in the team and be able to travel quicker in order to recruit quicker, so she can recruit more people in.
Oh yeah, or like she could be going on recruitment, just be like, oh, we're going the same way, so we might as well.
Yeah.
I would love to see her interact with also any dwarf character interact more with what's the girl who gets the magical powers at the end of Descent?
Oh, Volta.
Yes, Volta. Interact with those types of characters. Also interacting with Harding and her magic and be like, wow, that's unique. I've never seen that before.
So the fan art that you have of Astri, who is so cute, what's happening in that?
That is Kal'Hirol. Yeah, Kal'Hirol. It's not Kal'Hirol. Kal'Hirol. I feel like that is an uncut Dwarf Commoner playthrough, because Mahario doesn't care about, well, I'm not saying he doesn't care about Castles. It doesn't connect as much when you're going through a whole area about the Castles being abandoned, but also still standing up and holding back the line for the other people to leave. And I think that's also when she starts taking her Paragon status more serious, where she finds a plaque when she finds the plaque basically with all the names, and she realizes, I want this to be my home, but also a place for the Castless to live and have an actual life.
Yeah. She comes from literally nothing.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, she is like everything. She is like the hero. She is a paragon. She's a strategist. She's a commander. And she suddenly has so much purpose.
Yeah. And a family. A lot of family now.
Yeah.
From her companions to her actual family, because her mom is now hopefully rehabilitated. Her sister is the queen of Orzammar now. She has Balin, the Amaranthine cast. Like, that's a lot of family now. Basically going from your only family being an abusive mom and your half-sister is like, that's a big change.
Yeah.
But it is definitely the 0 to hero origin if you want that.
And then she ends up turning it all around.
Yeah. And also, it really highlights Balin's character more, because like your sister is a castless. He's not getting anything from this relationship. Like, he could marry a noble and unite a house, but he's marrying a castless girl who has nothing to her. So you can tell like there is love there. There's something there, and you don't get that without the Dwarf Commoner run.
By being in like the slums and the dregs of Orzammar, you actually kind of see what it's all about, kind of built on. Whereas if you're an elf or a dwarven noble, you just kind of
I think the noble's too connected to Balin, so when you meet him again, you're like, I'm gonna kill you. Yeah, it should be killing him. But with the Dwarf Commoner, you're kind of connected, but you're still far enough away that you can see him as a full picture and go like, wow, okay. There's a bit of a character there. There's actually a human being under that scumbag. Somewhere.
And then she sees the same with Oghren.
Yeah.
That must be like nice as well to like kind of have Astri help Oghren out of alcoholism after growing up with Mom.
That as well. Like, she had experience. She knows what that is. And also like growing up like with a very broken society around her, a lot of broken people around her. I think she did feel sad for Oghren. Like, she didn't hate Oghren. Like, she didn't like Oghren, but she didn't stand up for his bullshit.
And now there's Nugget.
Yeah.
She has so much family. Going back to Inquisition for a second, is Leliana in like correspondence with Astri and in contact with Astri, or is she far on away?
I wouldn't be like a daily correspondence or anything. Like, I don't think they would have any communication method that way, but definitely they are trying to keep in contact. Maybe sometimes it could be months without contact, but they try their best, at least I think. The love's still there.
Yay.
I always try and keep Leliana softened. I like softened Leliana.
Yeah, me too. Did she become divine?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
You see, currently going through my Inquisition playthrough, because yes, my Honori Inquisitor did, what's the word? Not allied mages, conscript. I did conscript the mages.
Leliana is then like reflecting Astri as enacting positive, necessary change.
Yeah, I think if you're dating Leliana as a dwarf or elf, she does the thing where she adds in the other races. Or there's an extra bit about that. I can't remember what it's about.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I'm gonna let dwarves into the chantry.
But I'm really happy I went with the Leliana romance. Like, I think Zevran could have been a cool aspect, but I think this Leliana just bring out that softer side of her, the more romantic side of her, and just giving her lots of stories to go to sleep. together in the tents together. That's nice.
And then when they meet again in the future, Astri can tell her stories about the stuff that she's seen.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's a whole unexplored continent over there. Astri went to. I want to know. I want to know what our wardens are up to over there.
Me too. Me too. Is there anything else that you want to bring up?
No, I think I'm gonna just play Dwarf Commoner, play dwarves, people.
Play
They're
dwarves.
So cool. I think they're like the most interesting dwarves in any fiction.
Is there any particular quote or song or anything that reminds you of Astri?
Oh yes, it's Goth by Sidewalk. Mainly because there's only one line in the song, but it's like bury me in my coffin. It's kind of more of an Astri and a Sigrun, because Sigrun and Astri are both. Well, she's a Legion of Dead. She's already in her head, buried in the coffin, and Astri's kind of similar. So it's kind of like they're both songs kind of together. If they were fighting together.
So as they walk off into the deep roads on their calling, that song's playing, and they pull out the daggers and the shield and stuff. Yeah,
I don't know if you've listened to it, but it is like quite a beautiful kind of melancholic song. It's got upbeat parts, but it's also melancholic feeling as well.
It's good. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm happy. That's a really good one. Thank you for inviting me on.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Was I the first, or
you are the first victim of out of character.
The interrogations. Thank you for bringing me on. I love talking about the Dwarf Commoner. Yay. Super underrated.
We'll have some more characters, and I'll bring you on again maybe to have a chat, and this will look better and be structured better.
No, I think you did really well.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So
I can't wait to see the final product.
Thank you very much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Oh! Before we leave, where can people find you if they want to watch you stream?
Yes, if you want to watch me stream, I normally do RPG games on Twitch. Light2099. My schedule's all over the place, but I generally do CRPGs, RPGs, going through Dishonored right now, and Pillars of Eternities tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, and for those of you at home, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe to support, keep an eye, and I'll have some more episodes of this out soon. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. Bye!